Every word you speak to yourself is either building you up or tearing you down. Choose wisely. For 21 days, speak strength, speak confidence, speak success. Watch how your life changes. The truth is, the way you talk to yourself has a powerful effect on the way you think, the way you feel, and ultimately, the way you live your life. Most of us don't realize it, but our inner dialogue shapes everything. The words you use, the thoughts you think, they create your reality. And if you want to change your reality, you need to change the way you talk to yourself. Imagine if, for just 21 days, you made a commitment to speak to yourself like you already have everything you want. What if you started your day with the belief that you're capable, that you're worthy, and that your success is inevitable? What would change in your life if, for 21 days, you talked to yourself like you were already the person you want to become? How much stronger would your belief in yourself be? How much closer would you be to achieving your goals? This isn't some quick fix or a magic trick. It's a simple yet powerful shift in your mindset that has the potential to transform your life. I want to take you through this journey and show you exactly how to start speaking to yourself in a way that will build your confidence, boost your self-belief, and ultimately help you create the life you've always dreamed of. If you're ready to unlock the power of your words and transform your reality, stick with me for the next few minutes. This is going to be life-changing. Let's dive in. Number 1, your mind is always listening. Your mind is always listening. Every word you speak to yourself, every thought you repeat in your head, your mind takes it in. It doesn't argue with you. It doesn't challenge what you say. It simply listens and follows. That's why the words you choose to tell yourself matter more than you think. Most people don't realize this. They don't pay attention to the way they talk to themselves. They let negativity run wild in their minds like it's no big deal. They wake up in the morning and say, I don't feel like getting up today. They face a challenge and say, I can't do this. They make a mistake and say, I'm such a failure. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. But let's turn this around. Let's take control of the conversation happening inside your head. Because if your mind is always listening, you better make sure it hears something good. You better make sure it's working for you, not against you. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, guess what? Your mind believes it. If you say, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, or I'm not capable, your mind takes that as truth. And once your mind believes something, it affects everything. Your confidence, your actions, and the way you show up in life. But here's the good news. It works the other way too. If you start speaking to yourself with strength, your mind will believe that as well. If you say, I am capable, I am improving, I can figure this out, your mind will take that as truth. And once your mind believes something positive, it starts pushing you towards success instead of pulling you back. So let's make a decision today. No more careless words, no more putting yourself down. From this moment forward, you're going to take charge of the way you talk to yourself. You're going to make sure that every word, every thought builds you up instead of breaking you down. Now, I know what some people will say. Jim, it's not that easy. I've been negative for years. I can't just change overnight. And you're right, you won't change overnight. But you don't have to. You just have to start. One thought at a time, one word at a time. Every time you catch yourself saying something negative, stop. Replace it with something better. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I'm learning how to do this. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I am improving every day. It's a small shift, but it makes a big difference. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, it grows. If you plant weeds, negative thoughts, self-doubt, excuses, that's what will take over. But if you plant strong thoughts, confident thoughts, thoughts of growth and success, that's what will take over instead. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a mind full of strength than a mind full of doubt. Let's talk about the power of words. Have you ever said something negative about yourself and felt an instant drop in energy? Maybe you told yourself, I'll never be successful, and suddenly you felt discouraged. That's because words don't just sit in your mind. They affect your emotions, your actions, and even your body. But the same thing happens when you say something positive. Try this. Right now, say out loud, I am strong, I am capable, I am ready. Say it like you mean it. Do you feel that? That little shift inside you? That's your mind responding to the words you speak. That's the power of self-talk. Now here's the trick. You have to be consistent. Saying something positive once won't change your life, but saying it every day, that's where transformation happens. That's why I'm challenging you to do this for 21 days. For the next 21 days, I want you to become aware of every word you speak to yourself. I want you to replace every negative thought with something strong. I want you to wake up every morning and tell yourself, I am ready for the day. I want you to face challenges and say, I will find a way. I want you to go to bed at night and remind yourself, I did my best today, and I will do even better tomorrow. And if you're thinking, Jim, this sounds too simple, let me tell you something. Simple doesn't mean easy. Most people won't do this. They'll hear this message and say, that's nice, and then go right back to their old habits. But the few who take this seriously, the few who really commit to changing their self-talk, those are the people who will see a transformation. Your success starts in your mind. The way you talk to yourself sets the tone for everything else. If you believe in yourself, you'll take action. If you take action, you'll see progress. If you see progress, you'll build confidence. And confidence leads to success. Number 2, start your day with purpose. The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up without a plan, without purpose, just drifting into the morning, the whole day feels scattered. You move from one thing to another, without direction, reacting instead of leading. But if you wake up with purpose, with intention, something changes. You take control of your time, instead of letting your time control you. Most people don't think about this. They wake up, grab their phones, scroll through social media, check the news, maybe hit the snooze button a few times, and then rush into the day, feeling behind before they've even started. No wonder they feel stressed. No wonder they feel lost. They let the world dictate their day, instead of deciding for themselves. But you're not going to do that anymore. From this moment on, you're going to start your day with purpose. You're going to take charge of your mornings, because the way you start determines the way you finish. Now you might be thinking, Jim, I'm not a morning person, and I hear you, but this isn't about whether you're an early riser or a night owl. It's about what you do with the first moments of your day. No matter what time you wake up, those first few minutes, what you tell yourself, what you focus on, how you prepare your mind, set everything in motion. Think about the difference between a person who wakes up and says, here we go again, another long day, versus someone who wakes up and says, today is a new opportunity to grow, to improve, to get better. One person is already defeated before they've even started. The other is ready to take on the world. Which one do you think is going to have a better day? So let's get practical. How do you start your day with purpose? First, don't let outside distractions control your mind. The moment you wake up, your mind is fresh, open, ready to receive. Don't fill it with negativity. Don't start by checking your messages or reading bad news. Start by taking a moment for yourself. Breathe, think, set your intentions for the day. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What do I want to accomplish? You see, most people go through life reacting. They let circumstances dictate their mood. If something good happens, they feel good. If something bad happens, they feel bad. But people who succeed, people who grow, who improve, who lead their lives with purpose, they don't wait for the world to set the tone for them. They decide in advance. They wake up and say, no matter what happens today, I am going to stay focused. I am going to push forward. I am going to make progress. You need to remind yourself of your goals every morning. Why are you doing what you're doing? What are you working toward? If you don't remind yourself, it's easy to get lost in the distractions of the day. You'll find yourself wasting time on things that don't matter. You'll get caught up in meaningless arguments, mindless entertainment, small problems that steal your energy. But if you start your day with a clear vision, you'll stay on track. Some people say, Jim, I have no motivation in the morning. I don't feel like doing anything. And I get it. Some days are harder than others. But let me tell you something. If you wait until you feel like it, you'll never start. Motivation doesn't come first. Action comes first. And when you take action, motivation follows. So don't wait for the feeling. Create the feeling. Get up, move your body, stretch, get your blood flowing. Your energy isn't just something you wake up with.
It's something you generate. And the more you move, the more energy you'll have. The more you take control of your morning, the stronger you'll feel. One of the most powerful things you can do is speak to yourself with intention. The words you use in the morning shape your mindset for the rest of the day. If you wake up saying, "I'm so tired, I don't want to do this," you're programming yourself for failure before you even begin. But if you wake up and say, "I am ready, I am capable, I will make today count," you set yourself up for success. Try this for the next 21 days. The moment you wake up, before you do anything else, say something powerful to yourself. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am improving. Don't just think it. Say it out loud. Feel it. Believe it. You might not feel different on day 1, but keep going. By day 5, by day 10, something will shift. You'll notice that you're walking with more confidence. You'll find yourself staying on track, making better choices, handling challenges with a stronger mindset. Let's talk about time. Every morning, you get a new set of 24 hours. The question is, what are you going to do with them? You can waste them, or you can use them to build the life you want. Every great success, every strong mindset, every disciplined person, they all have one thing in common. They use their time wisely, and that starts with how they begin their day. You have to make a choice. Are you going to let the world decide your day for you? Or are you going to decide for yourself? Are you going to wake up and drift? Or are you going to wake up and lead? Because I'll tell you this, if you don't take control of your time, someone else will. There's no magic formula, no secret trick, just a decision. A decision to start your day with purpose. A decision to talk to yourself the right way. A decision to take control of your mind before anything else tries to take it from you. And let me tell you something. The people who make this decision, who commit to it, who do it day after day, they are the ones who win. They are the ones who grow, who improve, who reach their goals. And if you want to be one of them, it starts right now. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't just roll out of bed and go through the motions. Wake up with purpose. Set your mind in the right direction. Remind yourself who you are and where you're going. Because once you take control of your mornings, you take control of your life.
Number 3, reprogram. You're thinking your mind is the most powerful tool you have, and it's working every second of the day. Whether you realize it or not, it's shaping your future with every thought you entertain. What you allow to take root in your mind will show up in your actions, your habits, and eventually, your life. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing the way you think. You have to reprogram your mind. Most people don't think about this. They go through life operating on patterns they've picked up over the years. Patterns of doubt, fear, negativity, hesitation. They don't even realize it, but they are repeating the same thoughts over and over again, reinforcing the same beliefs that keep them stuck. And if you tell yourself the same thing long enough, your mind accepts it as truth. Whether it's good for you or not, maybe you've been telling yourself, "I can't do this. I'll never be successful. I'm not good enough." Maybe you don't say it out loud, but deep down, you believe it. And every time you repeat those thoughts, you are reinforcing them, making them stronger, making them harder to break. And before you know it, they become a part of who you are. But here's the truth. Those thoughts are not facts. They are just programs you've been running. And the good news is, you can rewrite them. Reprogramming your mind is not about forcing yourself to believe something unrealistic. It's about making a conscious decision to change the way you speak to yourself, to replace the thoughts that are holding you back with thoughts that move you forward. It's about becoming aware of the way you think and choosing to take control of it. Now, this isn't something that happens overnight. You've spent years, maybe decades, thinking a certain way, and it takes time to rewire that. But if you commit to it, if you do it every day, if you catch yourself in the moment and redirect your thinking, something incredible happens. Your mind starts to shift. You start to see things differently. You start to believe in yourself in a way you never have before. And when that happens, everything changes. One of the most effective ways to reprogram your mind is to challenge your thoughts the moment they show up. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this,"
Stop and ask yourself, is that really true? Because most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, it's just an old belief that you've carried for too long. Maybe you failed once before, and you told yourself you weren't capable. Maybe someone said something to you when you were younger, and it stuck with you. But just because you've believed something for a long time, doesn't mean it's true. And once you realize that, you have the power to let it go. You also need to replace those old thoughts with new ones. You can't just remove negative thinking. You have to fill that space with something better. If you've been telling yourself, I'm not good at this, replace it with, I am learning, I am improving, I am getting better every day. If you've been saying I'll never be successful, replace it with, I am working toward my goals, and every step I take is progress. And the key here is repetition. Just like negative thoughts become stronger, the more you repeat them, positive thoughts do too. The more you say it, the more your mind starts to accept it. This is why affirmations work. Now, I'm not talking about just saying random positive words and hoping for the best. I'm talking about deliberately choosing the right words, words that feel real to you, and repeating them every single day until they become a part of who you are. And when you say them, don't just say them like you're reading off a script. Say them like you mean them. Say them with belief, with conviction. At first, it might feel strange. Your mind might resist. You might say, this isn't working, but keep going. Your mind has been wired to think a certain way for years, and it's not going to change instantly. But with consistency, something amazing happens. One day you wake up, and those new thoughts aren't just words anymore. They're beliefs. They're a part of you. And that's when you know you've reprogrammed your mind. Another powerful way to rewire your thinking is through visualization. See yourself succeeding. See yourself achieving your goals. See yourself becoming the person you want to be. Your mind doesn't know the difference between something you vividly imagine and something that actually happens. That's why athletes use visualization before a big game. That's why successful people take time every day to picture their future. Because when you see it in your mind, your brain starts to believe it's possible. And when you believe it's possible, you start taking actions that make it real. You also need to be careful about what you expose your mind to, the things you listen to, the things you watch, the people you surround yourself with. All of it influences your thinking. If you are constantly around negativity, if you are always hearing people complain, if you are feeding your mind with things that make you feel weak, you will stay stuck. But if you surround yourself with people who push you, if you listen to things that inspire you, if you choose to feed your mind with knowledge, wisdom, motivation, your thinking starts to change. And when your thinking changes, your life changes. Let me tell you something. You are not stuck. No matter how long you've been thinking a certain way, no matter how many times you've doubted yourself, you can change, you can grow, you can improve. But it starts with a decision to stop accepting old beliefs as truth, a decision to start speaking to yourself differently, a decision to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. So starting today, I want you to make a commitment. For the next 21 days, be conscious of your thoughts. Pay attention to the words you say to yourself. Challenge the negative ones. Replace them with words that empower you. Speak to yourself with kindness, with belief, with confidence. And do it every single day, even when it feels unnatural, even when your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns. Keep going. Because if you do this consistently, something incredible will happen. One day you will wake up, and you won't have to force these thoughts anymore. They will be your natural way of thinking. You will start seeing opportunities where you used to see obstacles. You will start believing in yourself in a way you never have before. You will start taking actions that align with the person you want to become. Number 4, turn setbacks into strength. Life is going to test you. No matter how strong you think you are, no matter how well you plan, no matter how much effort you put in, there will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be moments where you feel like nothing is working. And when those moments come, you have a choice. You can let them break you, or you can turn them into the very thing that makes you stronger. Most people don't realize this, but the greatest lessons in life don't come from success. They come from the hard times. They come from the moments when things didn't go the way you expected. They come from the failures, the losses, the disappointments. But here's what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. It's how they respond. When something knocks you down, what do? Do you sit there and complain about it? Do you tell yourself that life is unfair? Do you start thinking that maybe you're just not meant to succeed? Or do you use that setback as fuel? Do you take that pain, that frustration, that disappointment, and turn it into something that makes you better? That's what winners do. That's what strong people do. They don't let setbacks define them. They don't let one failure convince them to quit. They don't let a bad day turn into a bad week, a bad month, a bad year. They take control. They get back up. They learn from what went wrong, and they move forward stronger than before. Think about it. Every person who has ever done something great has had setbacks. They've all failed at some point. They've all faced obstacles that made them question everything. But they didn't let those moments stop them. They found a way to keep going. And that's the mindset you have to develop. The first step is realizing that setbacks are not the end. A failure is not a final result. It's just a lesson. It's feedback. It's life showing you what you need to work on. It's revealing a weakness that you now have the chance to strengthen. The people who succeed in life are the ones who don't take failure personally. They don't let it shake their confidence. They look at it, they learn from it, and they move forward with more knowledge, more wisdom, more resilience. But most people don't do this. Most people let failure crush them. They take one rejection and assume they'll never succeed. They try something once, and when it doesn't work, they give up. They let their emotions take over. They let self-doubt creep in. And before they know it, they've convinced themselves that they'll never win. And that's exactly why so many people stay stuck. They never give themselves a chance to grow from their setbacks. They never use failure as a stepping stone to something better. They get knocked down, and instead of getting up, they stay there. But you're not going to do that. You're going to make a decision right now that no matter what happens, you are going to keep moving forward. You are going to use every setback as a lesson. You are going to turn every failure into fuel. You are going to be the kind of person who doesn't back down when things get hard. The truth is, setbacks are part of the process. They are a test to see how bad you really want something. Everyone says they want success, but the moment things get tough, they quit. And that's why most people never reach their goals. But if you refuse to quit, if you refuse to let failure define you, then there is nothing that can stop you. You have to train yourself to see setbacks differently. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, see them as opportunities. When something doesn't go your way, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do better next time? How can I grow from this? Because every setback carries a lesson. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's forcing you to develop a new skill. Maybe it's showing you that you need to change your strategy. But you will never see the lesson if you're too busy feeling sorry for yourself.
Yes, Seth.
This is what mentally strong people do. They take every hardship and turn it into an advantage. They refuse to let one bad moment define their future. They refuse to let one failure
Yes, Seth.
turn into a lifetime of regret. They take control of their mindset, and because of that, they always come back stronger.
Yes, Seth.
Now I know it's not easy. When you're in the middle of a setback, it feels like the whole world is against you. It feels like nothing is working. It feels like no matter what you do, things just won't go.
Yes, Seth.
When most people quit, but you have to understand something. Those are the moments that separate winners from losers. Those are the moments where you decide who you're going to be. Anyone can stay positive when things are going well. Anyone can stay motivated when everything is working in their favor. But real strength is built in the moments when nothing seems to be going right. Real success is built in the moments when you want to give up, but keep going anyway. So the next time you face a setback, remind yourself that this is your moment to grow. This is your moment to prove to
Yes, Seth.
that you are not like most people. This is your moment to show life that no matter what it throws at you, you will keep moving forward. Every time you get knocked down and get back up, you are building strength. Every time you push through a difficult moment, you are becoming tougher, more resilient, more unstoppable. And if you keep doing that day after day, there will come a time when nothing can shake you. There will come a time when you no longer failure, but you towards success. And that is the moment when you become truly powerful. That is the moment when you realize that nothing can break you. That is the moment when you step into the life you were meant to live.
Number 5. The daily affirmations that work. The words you say to yourself every single day have power. More power than you realize. They shape your beliefs, your confidence, and your entire outlook on life. Most people don't even recognize how much their own thoughts are holding them back. They've been telling themselves the wrong things for so long that they don't even question it anymore. And that's the problem. If you've ever felt stuck, unmotivated, or unsure of yourself, it's time to take a hard look at the way you talk to yourself. Because every time you tell yourself, I can't do this, you make it true. Every time you say, I'll never be successful, you reinforce that belief. Every time you think, I'm not good enough, you give that thought power over you. And that power keeps you from growing, from improving, from reaching the level you're capable of. You see, most people are their own worst enemy. They talk to themselves in a way they would never talk to someone else. They criticize themselves. They doubt themselves. They tear themselves down. And the worst part, they don't even realize they're doing it. It's become a habit, a pattern. And like any habit, it can be changed. But you have to make the decision to change it. For the next 21 days, I want you to do something different. I want you to pay attention to the words you use when you talk to yourself. Every morning, before you do anything else, I want you to speak to yourself in a way that builds you up, not tears you down. I want you to start telling yourself the things that will help you grow, the things that will push you forward instead of holding you back. Because here's the truth. Your mind believes what you tell it. If you feed it doubt, it will give you reasons to doubt yourself. If you feed it negativity, it will show you more reasons to be negative. But if you start telling yourself something different, if you start feeding your mind words of confidence, strength, and determination, everything will begin to change. Instead of waking up and thinking, I don't feel like doing this today, tell yourself, I have the ability to take control of this day. Instead of saying, I'll never be successful, say I am getting better every day, and success is coming. Instead of thinking, I don't have what it takes, remind yourself, I am strong, I am capable, and I will figure it out. I know this might feel strange at first. If you've been talking to yourself negatively for years, changing that habit won't happen overnight. But just like anything else, the more you do it, the more natural it will feel. And when you change the way you speak to yourself, you change the way you see yourself. And when you change the way you see yourself, you change what you believe is possible. Think about it. If you woke up every day and told yourself, I'm going to make today count, do you think that would make a difference? If you started each morning by saying, I have the power to improve my life, don't you think you'd start acting differently? Of course you would, because what you tell yourself matters. But let's take it even further. It's not just about saying the right words, it's about believing them. Because words without belief are empty. If you tell yourself, I am successful, but deep down you don't believe it, your mind will reject it. That's why you have to say things that you can truly commit to. If you can't fully believe, I am successful yet, then start with I am working towards success every day. If I am confident feels like too much, start with I am building my confidence every day. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to start. The key here is repetition. You can't say it once and expect everything to change. You have to remind yourself every single day. You have to make it a habit. Because just like negative self-talk can shape your life in a bad way, positive self-talk can shape your life in a good way, but only if you do it consistently. Most people don't realize this, but your thoughts are like a muscle. If you've spent years building the habit of thinking negatively, your mind is strong in that direction. It's been trained to default to self-doubt, to hesitation, to fear. But just like a weak muscle can be strengthened with the right exercises, your mind can be retrained. It just takes practice. And let me tell you, once you start talking to yourself differently, you're going to notice something.
you're going to feel different. You're going to start believing in yourself more. You're going to start seeing opportunities where you used to see obstacles. And most importantly, you're going to start taking action in a way you never have before. Because confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And the first step in building it is changing the way you speak to yourself. Every successful person you admire, every person who has achieved great things, has mastered the art of speaking to themselves in a way that pushes them forward. They don't let self-doubt control them. They don't let fear dictate their decisions. They talk to themselves in a way that fuels their growth. And you can do the same. Now, I'm not saying this will make life easy. You're still going to have challenges. You're still going to face setbacks. But the difference is, when those moments come, instead of tearing yourself down, you'll be able to lift yourself up. Instead of letting one bad moment ruin your confidence, you'll be able to remind yourself that you're capable of overcoming it. Instead of letting failure stop you, you'll be able to tell yourself, I am learning from this, and I will come back stronger. And that's what separates people who win from people who give up. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's mindset. It's the way they talk to themselves when things get hard. It's the way they keep pushing forward, even when they don't feel like it. It's the way they refuse to let their own thoughts hold them back. Number 6, boost your self-image. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see someone strong, capable, and full of potential? Or do you see someone who isn't quite enough? Someone who doubts themselves, who questions their worth, who doesn't always believe they can win? I'll tell you this, how you see yourself determines everything. It determines how you walk into a room, how you approach challenges, how you handle setbacks. Your self-image is shaping your life, whether you realize it or not. And if that image is weak, if it's full of doubt and hesitation, then no matter how much you try to push forward, something will always be pulling you back. Most people don't even realize they have a poor self-image. They think their struggles come from outside circumstances, from bad luck, from things not going their way. But the truth is, the way you see yourself controls how you show up in the world. It controls your confidence, your actions, and even how other people treat you. Think about this for a moment. If you walk into a room and you believe you're not important, you'll carry yourself in a way that confirms that belief. You'll speak quietly. You'll hesitate. You'll hold yourself back. And guess what? Other people will pick up on that energy. They'll treat you the way you treat yourself. But if you walk into that same room, believing you belong, believing you bring value, believing you deserve to be there, you'll act differently. And people will respond to that. Your self-image is like a mirror, reflecting your beliefs back at you. If that mirror is dirty, if it's covered with years of doubt and negativity, then no matter what you do, you'll keep seeing yourself the same way. That's why you have to clean it. You have to change the way you see yourself. And I'm telling you, it starts with the way you talk to yourself. Because your mind is always listening. Every time you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, you reinforce that belief. Every time you say, I'll never be successful, you make it more real. But what if, for the next 21 days, you started saying something different? What if, instead of tearing yourself down, you started building yourself up? You have to start feeding your mind a new message. Every morning when you wake up, tell yourself, I am capable, I am strong, I am becoming the person I need to be. And don't just say it, believe it. Say it with conviction. Say it like you mean it. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? Let me be clear about something. This isn't about arrogance. This isn't about pretending to be something you're. This is about owning your value. It's about recognizing your strengths and reminding yourself every day that you are worthy of success, of respect, of a great life. Because if you don't remind yourself, the world won't do it for you. Most people walk through life waiting for someone else to tell them they're good enough. They wait for the promotion, the compliment, the validation from others. But what happens when you stop waiting? What happens when you decide that you don't need anyone else to tell you your worth? That's when everything changes. I want you to think about a time when you felt truly confident, a time when you knew you were at your best. Maybe it was a moment when you achieved something big. Maybe it was a time when you took a risk and it paid off. Whatever it was, remember how that felt. Remember the energy, the certainty, the power you had in that moment. Now imagine if you could bring that same energy to every single day. Imagine if you didn't have to wait for a special moment to feel that way. That's what happens when you boost your self-image. And let me tell you, it's not just about how you talk to yourself. It's about how you act. Because confidence isn't built by words alone. It's built by action. You have to start proving to yourself that you are who you say you are. If you say, I am disciplined, then act like it. Wake up on time. Stick to your commitments. Follow through on your goals. If you say, I am successful, then start making decisions like a successful person would. Take care of your health. Invest in yourself. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. Your self-image isn't just in your mind. It's in your habits. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you handle challenges. And the more you act like the person you want to be, the more you'll start believing it. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. But Jim, I've made too many mistakes, or I've failed too many times. Listen, everyone has made mistakes. Everyone has failed. That doesn't define you. What defines you is what you do next. You can't keep letting your past dictate your future. You can't keep looking at yourself through the lens of your failures, because if you do, you'll never break free from you. You have to start seeing yourself as someone who can grow, who can improve, who can overcome anything. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the doubts you've had. You are not the failures you've experienced. You are the person who is still standing, the person who still has a chance, the person who can decide right now to change the way they see themselves. And I'll tell you this, when you boost your self-image, everything else starts to change. You start showing up differently. You start attracting better opportunities. You start believing in yourself in a way you never have before. Because the truth is, you will never outperform your own self-image. If you see yourself as small, as unworthy, as not good enough, you will always find a way to prove yourself right. But if you start seeing yourself as strong, as capable, as someone who is worthy of success, you will rise to that level. So starting today, I want you to commit to this. I want you to commit to seeing yourself differently, to speaking to yourself differently, to acting like the person you know you can be. And I promise you, if you do this for 21 days, you won't even recognize yourself. You'll start to feel stronger, more confident, more in control. You'll stop waiting for other people to validate you, because you'll know your worth. And that's when the real transformation happens.
Number 7, develop a winner's mindset. When you look at your life, do you see yourself as a winner? Do you wake up every morning feeling like you are in control? Like you are on a path to something great? Or do you wake up feeling unsure, uncertain, like you're just going through the motions? Because let me tell you, how you see yourself will determine how you live your life. Most people don't think about this. They assume that winning comes from talent, luck, or the right opportunities. But here's the truth. Winning starts in your mind long before it shows up in your reality. Before you ever achieve anything big, you have to believe that you can. You have to think, act, and live like a winner before the results ever come. Think about the people who are at the top of their game. The best athletes, the most successful business people, the ones who seem unstoppable, they all have one thing in common. They believe in themselves before anyone else does. They walk into the room with confidence, they tackle challenges head on, and they don't let failure stop them. Why? because in their mind, they are already winners. Now let me be clear. This is not about arrogance. This is not about pretending or faking confidence. This is about developing a mindset that allows you to push forward even when things get tough. Because make no mistake, things will get tough. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. There will be moments when doubt creeps in. There will be times when you question if you have what it takes. And in those moments, your mindset will make the difference between giving up and pushing through. Most people wait until they see results before they start believing in themselves. They think, once I'm successful, then I'll have confidence. Once I start winning, then I'll act like a winner. But that's not how it works. Success doesn't come to people who sit around waiting for proof. It comes to those who decide right now that they will win. It comes to those who act like a winner before the world sees it. So what does that look like? How do you develop a winner's mindset? You start with how you talk to yourself. Every single day, your mind is listening to the words you say. If you tell yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, then that becomes your reality. Your brain will find ways to prove those thoughts right. But if you wake up and tell yourself, I am strong, I am capable, I am going to find a way, then your mind will start working to prove those words right instead. This isn't just about motivation. It's about programming your mind for success. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. If you walk into a challenge thinking, I don't know if I can do this, you'll hesitate. You'll hold yourself back. But if you walk in thinking, I'm going to find a way, then you approach the challenge differently. You move with confidence. You make decisions faster, and you don't let setbacks shake you. And let's talk about setbacks. Because a winner's mindset isn't just about confidence. It's about resilience. The truth is, you will fail. You will make mistakes. You will have moments where things don't go your way. And this is where most people give up. They hit one roadblock, and they decide it's over. They tell themselves, maybe I'm not meant to do this, but winners don't think like that. Winners see failure as part of the process. They understand that every setback is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow. They don't let failure define them. They use it to get better. If you want to develop a winner's mindset, you have to stop seeing failure as a stop sign. You have to start seeing it as a stepping stone. Every time you fail, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? What's the next move? That's how winners think. They don't dwell on what went wrong. They focus on what they can do next. Another key part of a winner's mindset is discipline. Winners don't just work hard when they feel like it. They don't rely on motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's what separates the best from the rest. Discipline is showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's sticking to your goals, even when it's hard. It's doing the work, even when no one is watching. Most people wait until they feel inspired to take action. But winners understand that action comes first, and motivation follows. The more you take action, the more confident you become. The more you show up, the more momentum you build. And before you know it, you've created a habit of winning. Let me tell you something else about winners. They don't waste time worrying about what other people think. They don't seek approval. They don't need validation. They know who they are, and they know where they're going. They don't let the opinions of others slow them down. Because the truth is, most people will never understand your vision. Most people won't believe in you until after you've made it. And that's okay. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself. So let me ask you, are you willing to think like a winner before you see the results? Are you willing to carry yourself with confidence, even when things aren't perfect? Are you willing to keep going, even when it's hard? Because if you are, then you are already ahead of most people. It all starts with a decision to see yourself differently, a decision to act like the person you want to become, a decision to stop waiting and start moving. You have everything you need to win. The question is, are you going to step into that mindset today? Are you going to start thinking, acting, and living like a winner before anyone else sees it? Because if you do, I promise you, the results will follow. Number 8, strengthen your discipline. I know the word discipline doesn't always get the best reputation. People think it's about strict rules, limiting fun,
or being hard on yourself. But that's not what discipline is about. It's about consistency, doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up day after day, even when the excitement fades. And here's the thing, discipline is what separates the people who achieve their dreams from the people who just talk about them. Think about it for a moment. There are countless people out there with big dreams, big ideas. They talk about them all the time. They're passionate about their goals. They're motivated. But motivation is fleeting. It's like the spark of a fire. It burns bright for a while, but it doesn't last unless you keep adding fuel to it. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the fuel. Discipline is what keeps the fire going, even when you're not feeling motivated. Discipline is the difference between people who talk about their goals and people who actually accomplish them. Now I want you to picture this. You've got a goal. Maybe it's to get in shape, start a business, write a book, or anything else that's important to you. You've got the vision, you've got the plan, and you've got the desire. But what happens when the initial excitement wears off? What happens when things get tough? Or when you hit a rough patch? What happens when you don't feel like putting in the work anymore? That's when discipline kicks in. I'll tell you something that took me years to realize. Success doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're having a bad day, or if you'd rather be doing something else. Success is only interested in what you do consistently. It doesn't care about your intentions. It cares about your actions. And the people who achieve success are the ones who keep showing up day after day, no matter how they feel. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress. You don't have to be perfect every single day, but you do have to be consistent. Even when it feels like you're not making progress, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere, the act of showing up is what matters. The fact that you keep going, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, that's what separates the winners from the quitters. I want to ask you, what's one area of your life where you need more discipline? Maybe it's in your work, your health, or your relationships. Wherever it is, it's time to make a decision. A decision to stop waiting for motivation to come around. A decision to start showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Because here's the truth. Motivation won't always be there for you. It's inconsistent. But discipline will be there for you every time. Discipline is what makes the difference between success and failure. Let's talk about how discipline shows up in real life. It's not about making grand gestures. It's about the small, everyday actions that build up over time. It's about getting up early to work on your goals before the world gets busy. It's about doing the work even when you'd rather relax. It's about pushing yourself even when you don't feel like it. And most importantly, it's about being patient with yourself. Because here's the thing, discipline doesn't happen wholly. It's a habit, and habits take time to form. At first it will be hard. You'll resist. You'll find excuses. But the more you practice discipline, the easier it gets. It's like building a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. And soon enough, what felt difficult will become second nature. You'll start to find joy in the process because you'll realize that the hard work is paying off. You'll see the progress and you'll start to trust yourself. You'll realize that you can count on yourself to show up no matter what. Here's a powerful truth about discipline. It's not just about achieving your goals. It's about who you become in the process. Every time you push through a challenge, every time you do the hard thing, even when you don't feel like it, you're becoming strong. You're building your character. And that's what will carry you through life's toughest moments. When you can be disciplined in the small things, you'll find it easier to tackle the big things. The person you become in the process is the real reward. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you won't face obstacles, doubts, or setbacks, but that's life. Life will throw challenges at you, and you have two choices. You can give up, or you can choose to show up. The people who succeed are the ones who choose to show up, even when it's hard, even when they're tired, even when they'd rather be doing something else. If you're not where you want to be right now, it's probably because you've been relying too much on motivation and not enough on discipline. Motivation is great when it's there, but it's not enough. You need discipline to turn your dreams into reality. You need discipline to make the kind of progress that will change your life. The key to discipline is building momentum. Once you start doing the right things consistently, you'll build momentum. And once you've got momentum, it's hard to stop. You'll start to see results, and those results will fuel you to keep going. The more you show up, the more you'll want to keep showing up. It's like a snowball effect. Small actions add up to big results, and the longer you keep at it, the bigger that snowball gets. I want to challenge you. For the next 21 days, commit to showing up for yourself. Commit to doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. Commit to developing the discipline you need to make progress. And after those 21 days, see how far you've come. I promise you, if you show up every day, even on the hard days, you will be amazed at the progress you've made. Discipline is the difference between wishing and achieving. It's the difference between talking about your goals and living them. It's the difference between dreaming and doing. If you want to achieve something great, you need discipline. And if you have discipline, you can achieve anything.
Number 9, program your mind for success, the end goal. It's easy to get caught up in the vision of where we want to be, what we want to have, and how we want our lives to look. But what about the daily grind? What about those moments when you don't feel like pushing yourself? When the idea of doing the work feels overwhelming or even pointless? Those are the moments that matter most. You see, most of us want to achieve great things, but we don't want to put in the hard work it takes to get there. We want success to come easy. We want it to feel effortless, but it doesn't work that way. If you want to be successful, if you want to reach the level of greatness that you know is possible for you, then you have to force yourself to work when you don't feel like it. There's no magic to this. It's not about waiting for the perfect time or hoping for the right circumstances to come along. It's about showing up every single day, whether you're in the mood for it or not. You have to make the decision that your goals are worth more than your feelings in any given moment. It's about pushing through the resistance and doing what you need to do, regardless of how you feel. This isn't just about productivity. It's about mindset. The successful people, the ones who get things done, the ones who accomplish their dreams, are the ones who learn how to push themselves when things are hard, when motivation is low, and when the temptation to quit is high. It's about creating a habit of working, even when you don't feel like it. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Eventually, it's not even a question of whether you want to work or not. It's just what you do. Now, you might be thinking, I don't always have the energy. I'm not always motivated. And you're right. That's part of the human experience. We're not robots. We don't always have the drive or the enthusiasm. But here's the thing. Success isn't about waiting for motivation. It's about creating your own motivation. It's about training yourself to work, to move forward, even when the desire isn't there. It's about taking action, even when it feels hard, even when you don't have that spark of inspiration. When I first started out, there were plenty of days when I didn't want to get up and work. I had doubts. I had struggles, and sometimes I just wanted to quit. But I kept going anyway. I knew that if I stopped, nothing would change. If I gave in to my feelings, I'd never make progress. So I did it anyway, and over time it became easier. The habit of working when I didn't feel like it became ingrained. The more I pushed myself, the more I saw results, and the more I trusted myself to keep going, no matter what. You've probably had days when you felt like giving up, right? Days when the work seemed pointless, or when you just didn't have the energy to keep pushing forward. We all face those moments, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond in those moments. The people who make it are the ones who don't let the low moments define them. They keep going. They take the action, even when they don't feel like it. It's crucial to understand that progress doesn't happen in big, dramatic bursts. Success isn't made in a single day of intense effort. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken day after day. And some days, those actions won't feel great. They won't be exciting. They'll feel mundane. But that's okay. It's not about waiting for motivation to show up. It's about taking action, even when it doesn't feel like the right time. It's about doing the work, even when the world doesn't seem to notice.
Because every small effort adds up, and over time, those small efforts create big results. If you're serious about making progress, then you need to make it a non-negotiable habit to work, even when you don't feel like it. You can't wait for the mood to strike. You can't wait for the stars to align. You have to commit to doing the work, no matter how you feel. Some days will be harder than others, but that's when you dig deep and do it anyway. Because the days you don't feel like working are the days that matter the most. And the best part is, the more you force yourself to work on those days, the more you build discipline. Discipline is what will carry you when motivation fades. Discipline is the thing that will keep you going when you feel like quitting. Motivation will come and go. But if you develop the habit of working, even when you don't feel like it, you'll be able to rely on discipline to push you through the tough times. And trust me, the more you rely on discipline, the easier it will become. I want you to understand that there will never be a perfect moment to start. There will never be a time when you feel 100% ready. If you wait for that, you'll be waiting forever. Instead, make a commitment to yourself today. Make the decision that no matter what, you will do the work. Even if you don't feel like it, you will push yourself to move forward. You will show up every day, and you will take action, even when you're not inspired. When you force yourself to work on the days you don't feel like it, something powerful happens. You start building trust in yourself. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through. You become someone who can rely on their own actions. You create a reputation with yourself. And when you show up for yourself consistently, you build confidence. That confidence fuels you to keep going, and you start seeing results. When you start seeing results, you'll feel more motivated. And when motivation is low again, you'll go back to discipline. You'll keep working because you know that every little step is getting you closer to where you want to be. But don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect to always feel excited to work. It's going to be hard some days. There will be moments when it feels like you're not making progress. But you can't let that stop you. Because the truth is, you're making progress every time you show up, every time you do the work. The key is to stay consistent. If you make working a habit, if you make showing up non-negotiable, you will find success. So when you don't feel like working, don't wait for motivation to show up. Force yourself. Take the action anyway. Trust that the work you do now, even if it feels small or insignificant, is building the future you want. Your goals don't care how you feel. They don't care if you're tired. They don't care if you're unmotivated. Your goals only care about one thing: action. So take the action, and remember, the results will come. They might not come immediately, but they will come. Every single action you take adds up. Every day you show up, you're getting closer to your goals. You're building momentum, and that momentum will carry you, even when you don't feel like working anymore. This is the real key to success. Taking action, even when you don't feel like it. This is how winners are made. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the decision to keep moving forward, no matter what. So if you want to reach your goals, if you want to be successful, then you have to force yourself to work, even when it feels hard. Because that's what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up. It's time to commit. It's time to make the decision that you will work, no matter how you feel. And once you do that, you'll start to see how much closer you are to your goals. Every single day, keep going, even when you don't feel like it. That's the secret. That's how success happens. Number 10, speak as if you are already there. There's a powerful way of thinking that can change your life, and that's speaking to yourself as if you've already reached your goals. It might sound strange at first. After all, you're not there yet. So how can you talk like you are? But here's the thing. You have to believe in the version of yourself that exists in the future before you can bring that future to life. Most people, when they look at their lives and their goals, focus on where they are right now, how far they have to go, and how much work is left to do. They think of all the challenges and setbacks they'll face along the way. And while it's important to be realistic and grounded, you also need to adopt the mindset of the person who has already achieved those things. When you start talking to yourself as if you are already where you want to be, something powerful happens. It starts to shift your mindset. It starts to shift the way you see yourself and the way you approach your daily actions. It builds confidence, and it strengthens your belief in yourself. It helps you operate from a place of certainty rather than doubt. Let me break it down for you. When you talk to yourself as if you've already made it, you start to think differently. You start making decisions based on the person you want to be, not the person you are right now. You stop thinking about all the reasons you can't do something and start focusing on all the ways you can make it happen. You no longer see obstacles as barriers. Instead, you see them as stepping stones to get where you need to go. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, and every setback becomes part of your success story. Think about the way you speak to yourself on a daily basis. How do you talk about your goals, your dreams, your future? If you're like most people, you probably focus on everything that's standing in your way, the things you don't have, the obstacles in your path, the things you wish you could change. But that's the wrong approach. You need to flip that script. Instead of saying, "I will be successful," say, "I am successful." Instead of saying, "I will work hard to achieve my dreams," say, "I am working toward my dreams every day, and I am capable of achieving them." The language you use matters. It shapes your reality. And when you start speaking to yourself from a place of power and belief, you'll begin to see your life shift in ways you never thought possible. The key to this shift is understanding that your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Your subconscious mind takes everything you say to yourself as truth. So when you talk to yourself as if you've already achieved your goals, your mind starts to believe that you have. And once your mind believes something, it starts to act in alignment with that belief. This is how you build momentum toward success. This is how you start making decisions that support your goals, even when you're faced with doubt or fear. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Jim, I'm not there yet. I'm still working on it. I haven't achieved my goals. And you're right, you haven't achieved them yet. But that doesn't mean you can't act like you have. You don't need to wait for the world to tell you you're successful. You don't need to wait for the external validation. You need to start acting like the person who has already succeeded. When you do this, you start to live as if you are already on the path to success. You start to see opportunities, even in places where others only see roadblocks. Think about the people you admire, the ones who are living the kind of life you want. Do you think they constantly talk about their limitation? Do they focus on the things they don't have, or the obstacles they face? No, they talk as if they're already there. They've already made it. And because of that, their actions, their mindset, and their attitude are aligned with success. This is not about pretending or faking it. It's about stepping into the identity of the person who is already where you want to be. There's a reason why top performers in every field talk about visualization and mindset. It's because they know that how you think and speak about your future directly impacts the results you get. When you start to speak to yourself as if you are already where you want to be, you start to create that reality. Your actions will follow. Your decisions will follow. And before you know it, you'll look up and realize that you've already become the person you've been speaking to yourself as. But I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying that just by changing the way you talk to yourself, everything will magically fall into place. It's not that simple. It takes work. It takes consistency. But when you speak to yourself as if you're already successful, the work becomes easier. The challenges don't seem as impossible. You start to approach each day with a mindset that says, "I can do this." And when you think you can do something, you're more likely to take the action needed to make it happen. There's another side to this as well. When you talk to yourself as if you're already there, you're also reminding yourself of your worth. Many people struggle with self-doubt, but when you speak to yourself from a place of power, you begin to push those doubts aside. You start to believe in your own abilities, your potential, and your worthiness of success. This is a game changer, because when you believe in yourself, you show up differently. You take more risks. You push through the tough times. You refuse to quit when things get hard. Speaking to yourself in this way also helps to quiet the voice of fear. We all have that inner voice that tells us we're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable of achieving our dreams. But when you start talking to yourself as if you're already successful, that voice gets drowned out by the positive, empowering thoughts you're creating. Over time, that inner voice gets quieter and quieter until it's no longer a threat to your success. Now I want you to really think about the way you talk to yourself moving forward. Every time you catch yourself thinking or speaking negatively, pause and shift the narrative. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, or I don't know how to do this, remind yourself that you are capable. Tell yourself, I am good enough. I am worthy of success. I am the kind of person who makes things happen. Start making this a daily habit. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And soon you won't even have to think about it. You'll just be speaking to yourself from a place of power, and it will become your new reality. So I challenge you for the next 21 days, talk to yourself as if you're already there, as if you've already reached your goals. Speak from a place of confidence, belief, and power.
Watch how it changes the way you think.
Watch how it changes the way you approach your work, your goals, and your challenges. And most importantly, watch how it changes the way you see yourself. Because the more you speak to yourself as the person you want to be, the closer you get to becoming that person. This is not just some motivational trick. This is a mindset shift that has the potential to transform you. Start talking to yourself as if you've already achieved your goals. And I promise you, you'll begin to see real, tangible changes in your life. You've got everything inside of you to make it happen. Now it's time to speak and act like it. Your future self is waiting for you.